Holy crap, did I really do that? I just don't want to be spreading lies. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cmoore, and this is Cmoore-Books. As you saw from the thumbnail of today's video, it's time for my July wrap-up. July was a very, very busy month. It was my birthday month. I accepted a new job. I'm now the director of youth services in my local library. I actually just had my first official today. So yeah, July was a very exciting month for me. I know other things happened. I think my brain is trying to black part of it out because it was just a lot. It was a lot in that month. But yeah, it was a good month, and it was a good reading month. So let's get into some stats. I love stats. So so first off, I read 20 books. Let me make myself just every time I swear. Okay. So I read 20 books this month. But I read some chunkers. Uh, although some people would be like, you read 20 books and you're like trying to qualify that it was just 20 books. I'm going through I recently purchased Kara's Bookshelves Notion spreadsheet. I'm adding all of my books into that spreadsheet for 2023, and I'm really regretting how much I read because of all the books I've had to add. Because I've already read like 170 books this year. Is that accurate? Let's find out. Um, I don't want to be spreading lies. Yeah, it is 170. So yeah, I'm 30 away from hitting my goal. But yeah, and I was like, ugh, it's taken me quite a while to add it, but loving the spreadsheet, loving it. But I just love the colorfulness of Storygraph, which is why I'm showing you some of this. And my data is not all the way updated in there. So still a work in progress. So for July, I read 20 books. Had some chunkers, so read 5. There were 5,518 pages. Majority of books were lighthearted, but we of course had some sad, some mysterious books, some emotional books. I always read emotional books. It's not a usual month for me if there aren't emotional books. Majority of books are always medium paced, some slow paced, barely any fast paced books. One that was put in medium paced, I'm like, how are you not in slow pace? But that is not here nor there. Then I read 2 that were over 500 pages. 7 between 300 and 499, and then 11 under 300 pages. The majority were fiction. I'm a fiction girly, 14 to 4. And then fantasy is like killing it this month with 6. Children's with 3, YA with 3, romance, and the books do overlap because they'll be under multiple genres. Because this number is not going to add up to 20, FYI. Because I've done math before. But 9 of the books that I read this month were audiobooks, or I listened to them. And then 10 of them were print books, and then one of them was a digital book. Except that was a print book. That's a lie. Why are you saying Why are you saying you're a digital book? I think this was the only option that they had on Storygraph for this book was a digital book, which is why I did this. But that's actually a print. So literally it's 11 over here, 9 over here. There was nothing digital. Was very nice with my star ratings this month. My 5 stars were always like super high. 4 stars, and then 2 3 stars. Nothing below that this month. So that's how you know it has been a good month. If you can hear that sound, my computer's really cranky. So we are gonna go on to the PowerPoint because I love PowerPoint. Reminds me of my college days, grad school days. And how is this not fun right here? It is. It's totally fun. But here's the books I read in July. If I can get the slide to advance. So the first book I finished was The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I read this for my workbook club for my last job. Oh my goodness, this was so good. I think that I cried harder at The Nightingale, but this was set during the Dust Bowl here in the United States. And it's just about this woman and her life and raising her children and just the hardships that families face during the Dust Bowl. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. And I listened to the audiobook. Julia Whalen did the audio for this. She is like one of my favorite audiobook narrators. Chef's kiss. She does an amazing job. Then I read, I started this back in like March, and got a tad distracted because I didn't finish it until July, but that's not the worst one on the list. I finished The Girl Who Drank the Moon, by Kelly Barnhill. This is a Newbery Award winner. This is a middle grade. This was for my church book club. This was my pick. This is really a way to get me to finish the book. Because I have very big shiny book syndrome. It doesn't help that a lot of books nowadays have like foiling on them, so they literally are shiny books. But that is neither here nor there. But this one is about this girl, this town. They sacrifice one baby every year to this witch. I believe it's to satisfy the witch so that like they'll leave them alone. And so normally the witch like takes the babies to and finds them a home. And this witch is super surprised as to why like the townspeople keep like leaving their babies in the forest every year. So like everyone's confused. Like the townspeople are confused, but like people in power, like I'm not gonna go fully into that because that's spoilers. I'm sorry. But on her way to take this baby to find a new home in one of the other towns, instead of feeding the baby starlight, she fed the baby from the moon. And so that gave the baby magical powers. And so she could not give this baby away. So she raised the little girl herself. And it's this little girl's journey. Oh, so fun. And then I read Spy X Family Volume 4, 5 stars. If you have not heard of this manga series, it's so good. Cannot recommend it enough. This is like my first manga series. So it's about this spy. He has to find himself a family for like this super secret mission. And so he finds this little girl at this orphanage, adopts her. He doesn't know she's a telepath. And then he finds himself a wife. He doesn't know she's an assassin. The only one that knows who everyone is the little girl. She knows he's a spy. She knows the little girl knows that the wife is an assassin, and so she's like trying to like make everyone happy and like, ooh, we need to take care of that. Like, so yeah, so fun. And this volume was particularly fun. Oh, the animals. And then I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I have, hold on. Yes, I am snuggled in a blanket, and yes, that is my desk chair. It is extremely loud. I do have these sprayed edges. I heard from my silent book club. I meet with found this group of people we read together online every Wednesday. In one meeting, someone shared that there were like very few copies left out there. Like everything in the warehouse was gone. Whatever is on the shelves of the sprayed edges is the last there is. And so that night, I looked up. My local Target had 3 copies left. I got one of the last 3 copies. That was like, I hate it. I'll sell it to someone. But I loved it, so it's staying with me forever. Um, so yeah, absolutely loved it. Is it the most amazing book ever? But like, no. But like, I had so much fun with it. Uh, Both the girl Violet, like she wanted to be a scribe, which basically like recording history and being sort of like a librarian. And like that's totally like my vibe. Um, and then like her mom's like the head of the uh military academy. And so like everyone like all like the different quadrants like all meet there under this military academy. And so her mom's like, ever since your dad died, actually, you're not gonna become a scribe, even though that's what you've been training for your whole life with your dad. You're actually become a writer, which is to be a dragon rider. So yeah. And I just love the representation of like dealing with uh like chronic pain. Like that was I felt like that was well done. Um and yeah, I just thought it was really fun. Um and I'm so excited for the next one to come out. And did I just find out recently that it's a 5-book series? Yes. Did I think it was a duology? Absolutely. Um am I prepared for a 5-book series? I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for that. But will I be buying every one of them? Absolutely. But yeah, so excited. So excited. Um, but yeah, I will admit, like, it's not the most amazing, but like, I just in my heart, it felt like a 5-star. It felt like a 5-star. I had to give it a 5-star. I don't think like I've seen like videos out there that are like giving it like major flack of like 2-hour long, like going into like all the nitty-gritty detail. And for those of you that have the time to do that, wow. I don't know how you have the time to tear apart a book for 2 hours and sometimes multiple books of that length. But more power to you. Um, Most I'm gonna rant about a book is probably maybe like 5 to 7 minutes. If that. That book is already wasted. I've already wasted my time reading that book. So the most I'm gonna rant about it is maybe like 5 to 7 minutes. It does not deserve any more of my time. So, but that is just my thoughts. Uh, Everyone can choose to do whatever they want with their own time. But if I really dislike a book, I'm not gonna give it that much of my time. It doesn't deserve that much of my time, but that's just me. Everyone can do whatever they want to do. But the next book that I finished is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Guys, I was reading this book since December. Yeah, I finished it in July. I was like, it just took me forever to get through the first half of this book. But like the 50% mark, flew through the rest of it. Flew through the rest of it. I was going like beginning, I was like, this can be a 3-star, 3-star. Like, and I got through the second half, I was like, yeah, this is a 4-star. I get why people really, really like this. Yeah, really, really like this. Mr. Darcy. Sorry, I am drinking something caffeinated. I have a headache. I had a lot thrown at me my first day, my new job, so a lot happening in my brain right now. But the next book that I read is the Book of Holiday Awesome by Neil Pasricha. This was so fun. So it goes into all the different like things that are awesome about like the holidays. So like it goes through like Christmas and Valentine's Day and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, the 4th of July, basically any holiday that is like well recognized, it's in this book. It was so fun. It was really fun. Um, it didn't feel like a 5-star, because it was a little slow in spots. And it did take me a while to finish it, but I did really enjoy it, so that is why I gave it 4 stars. Oh my goodness, this book, every woman needs to read this book. More Than a Body, Your Body is an Instrument, Not an Ornament by Lindsay Kite and Lexi Kite. They're sisters, both PhDs. I finished this in 2 days. The audiobook. Oh my goodness. I got this on my TBR ring toss. TBR for July for body positivity. I need to read this again. Um, Body positivity is something that I've struggled with my entire life, still continue to struggle with. That's something that you struggle with. This book has tools and new ways to think about things. And they obviously don't like they want you to seek help and to talk to people and seek help from medical professionals. But yeah, just the ideas and the new ways to look at things were amazing. I could not even begin to sum up all the things. Yeah, 5 stars, billion stars. Like it's that good. Then I read The Lost Bells by Robert McFarlane, and the artwork was done by Jackie Morris. I heard about this from The Cottage Fairy here on YouTube. Oh my goodness, this was so beautiful. It's nonfiction. It's all about these beautiful animals. And it's like a book of poetry about them. It just blew me away. It's on my Amazon wish list to one day buy it. Um, if I had all the money in the world, I would buy all the books. But right now, this is not. One day I will get to it. Oh, excuse me. I am so sorry. But yeah, the artwork in this is absolutely breathtaking, and combined with the poetry, like um Jackie Morse did an amazing job of creating such beautiful artwork that represents the poetry of Robert McFarlane. McFarlane. Yeah. 5 stars. So good. And then I read Before Colors, Where Pigments and Dyes Come From, by Annette Bay Pimento. I gave this 5 stars. So this was a new book that my library just got. So this was the history of dyes and pigments. It was so interesting to learn where all of the different colors came from, and like they had like these sections of like, well, this plant, like what color is this gonna make? Every time, I don't know why, but I got it wrong. Like I don't know what was happening, but I'm like, am I turning colorblind here? I'm not, by the way. But it just seemed, I was like, am I seeing the same thing here? Like, yeah, it was just kind of funny. Got it wrong every single time. Um, but yeah, so good. And there's a nonfiction book um about uh like dyes and what's it called? Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like the truth behind like book dyes, or about like clothing dyes and like the dye industry. Um and basically it kind of like terrified me. Um but yeah. Nope, nope, not coming to me. But yeah, I was gonna read it, and then like my health anxiety started going up the walls, and I was like, nope, this is not the book for me. I'll never want to wear a piece of my clothing ever again. Um, and then I read the Taylor Swift Little Golden Book biography, 5 stars. It was written by Wendy Logia, and it was so fun. My sister actually just went to the Eras tour in San Diego on Friday. Wish I could have gone with her. Um, but thankfully, like it would not have worked even if I had like bought tickets like with her and like had planned ahead, like with starting this new job, it would just not have worked out. Right. But T Swift, so good. And then I finally, for you who watched multiple of my TBR ring toss videos, will have seen this book pop up like for the past like 4, maybe 5 months. I finally finished it. And I got to mark it off for my 23 books as one of my 23 books I want to read in 2023. So I did enjoy it. I just felt the pacing was kind of slow. Um, yeah, which is why I gave it 3 stars. Like it was good. Like it was fine. Like it wasn't great. But like it wasn't bad. So like it was just sort of like middle of the road for me. Which is why I gave it 3 stars. So, but the covers are so gorgeous. But I'm gonna read Our Violent Ends eventually. Probably should do it soon, otherwise I'm never gonna do it. Then I read The Isles of the Gods. This is Amy Kaufman's newest release. Um, so good. The ending of this book. I need the next book right now. I just have so many thoughts. This is like a full cast audio as well. I listened to the audiobook. and it was so good. It was so good. Um, and I can't think of our main character who's right there on the cover. Um, but yeah. So like her and like she's under her dad like has like a fleet of ships. And he like is like up north and like she's on a different ship, like being tutored uh by another one of the captains in his fleet. Um and then they get like a special secret mission to go to the Isle of the Gods with the prince to make the sacrifice to their god to stop war from occurring. Um let's just say things get interesting from there. Uh and then um I read this as part of a reading vlog. Oh, Wishbone. This is such a part of my childhood. If you have never seen Wishbone, um, you have missed out. Let me just tell you. Um, Probably if you're like Gen Z, Wishbone was probably off the air by the time you got around to watching PBS, or you might never watch PBS. Uh, but this is how a lot of us millennials, how we learned our classics is from Mr. Wishbone there. He taught us our classics. And so I read this book. It was a reread for me. Totally forgot the entire plot. Um, I probably should have given it 3 stars, but I bumped it up too for nostalgia purposes. And then I'll try and remember to link down to put the vlog down in the description. Um yeah, and then I watched some episodes of Wishbone. Oh, what they were able to do back then was great. But looking at the standards of today, it's so bad. But Wishbone is such a well-trained dog. Like the dog that plays Wishbone. So well trained. Just saying. So for Once Upon a Book, this is by Graceland and Kate Messner. Um, so this was a really cute picture book. Oh, don't know why I got that. I got result. Um, uh, so like this little girl was like stepped into the book. It just felt like she just like went to random places like around the world. Um, like it was nice, but it just wasn't great. It just felt like there wasn't an element like tying everything together. Um, just like we went here and then we went here and then we went here. Um, yeah, just felt like there was something missing. So it's just sort of middle of the road picture book. Oop, here we are. Then A Little Woman Christmas. So this is like based off of the characters of Louise May Alcott's Little Women. So this is written by Heather Vogel Frederick and illustrated by Bagram Eva Tulin. Oh, this is so wonderful. Um, oh, the illustrations are beautiful. It was beautifully written. It just brings you into the magic of like focusing on the Christmas aspect of that novel, and brings it down to a picture book level. Uh, oh, so good. Can't recommend this enough. It's a great book to read at Christmas time. I happen to read it in July. You can read it whenever you want. I did that. Um, and then I read I Love You Like Yellow by Andrea Beatty and Vashti Harrison. Um, 5 stars. Yeah, it was just a book of like I love you like yellow things, and um it was just so cute and heartwarming. It's definitely one that you have to experience like but it will just give you all the good feelings. I think it's one that you will definitely enjoy reading with your child or just reading with yourself. But definitely with your child. Uh, yeah, it'll just make you both feel the warm and fuzzies, especially you as a parent. Oh my goodness, this was so good. If you read this, I highly recommend listening to the audiobook. It's so good and so intense. Kept me on the edge of my seat. Although most of the time that I was listening to this, I was moving around doing yard work and other things. But if I had been sitting down, I would have been on the edge of my seat. So, The Night Swim by Megan Golden. About this podcaster. She goes back to this town. She goes to this town who she's covering this rape trial. And then she gets these letters from someone who lived in this town, and it goes back and forth between like what happened then with that old case to the current case, like with what's going on in court, like back and forth and like weaving the past with the present, and it's so good. And there's a second one in the series, so like the podcaster is solving another crime. What is the second one called? I can see the cover. What is the Megan? My library. Dark Corners. Um, is the second book. Yeah, so excited to get that one. I got it free through Libra FM. As a librarian, I get early access to content through Libra FM. I know that influencers and those that have a large following can get access to content as well. As a librarian, I get access to quite a bit of content, like 50 options like a month. It's a lot more. It's so much. And we're not going to talk about the amount of unread books I have. But yeah. But I've read some good ones on there. There have been some DNF, but some very good ones. Book lovers, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Happy Place. Thank you for listening. The Night Before Christmas. Yeah, those are the good ones. We're not going to talk about the bad ones. Um, and then I'm currently working on a vlog right now. Going back and forth between The Summer I Turned Pretty books versus the TV show. Sort of like cross comparing. So I finished book one and I finished season one. I'm currently on book two. And season two is currently like still dropping episodes. So I don't feel bad that I have not finished book two. Um, I'm like halfway through book two right now, so I'm doing okay. But yeah, The Summer Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Um, 5 stars again. This book has such the nostalgia of like summer as a teenager. Um, and I do have this cover. This is like the OG cover. Um, first edition print. And I didn't get these when these came out either. I have all the OG covers. Um, when these came, I found all these on thrift books. Um, yeah, I have all the original covers in the hardcover. It even says inside of my books, first edition. Yeah, I'm quite proud of that. Um, although some people are like, I don't like the old covers. But I'm fine with them. Uh, but yeah. Mm, I just love these books. They're just such nostalgia of summer and like coming of age and finding yourself, um, and growing up. And facing things that you never thought you were going to face, and which is why I'm not mentioning stuff because I'm already thinking ahead in book two. Yeah. But yeah, Summer Turned Pretty if you have been living under a rock. Um, about Belly, and her family, uh, Steven and her mom, they go to their friend's summer house. They've been going there every summer, even before she was born, when she was in her mom's stomach. Um, her mom's best friend Beck, uh, they go to her beach house, and her sons, Jeremiah and Conrad, uh, Conrad and Jeremiah, because Conrad is the older son. They all spend the summer there. The dads aren't there all summer. They just come during certain time periods in the summer. But this summer, um, things are different. Belly is feeling different. This is the summer she feels she has turned pretty. Um, so it's a summer of change for her, and lots of things have changed this summer. Some sad, some happy, some in between, you know. Life is a lot. Um, totally recommend this series if you haven't read it. Uh, so this is a middle grade nonfiction. So Nothing Could Stop Her: The Courageous Life of Ruth Gruber, by Rona Arato and illustrated by Isabel Munoz. Um, this was so amazing. I don't think I knew who Ruth Gruber was before this. Um, woman was a rock star. Let me just tell you. Um, she was an investigative reporter. She was Jewish. Uh, and she was like reporting on stuff during World War II in Europe, and then she went to Russia. Like she was reporting on stuff when like putting herself like in danger. But she was willing to get the story, like she wanted to get things out there. Um, yeah, amazing life. Cannot recommend this enough. It does such a wonderful overview of like her life and all the things that she saw and did. Um, yeah, so it's like in a chapter book format. There's wonderful illustrations. Um, amazing. I was so happy when my interest was piqued when I saw this as one of the new items that had just come in at the library. This is before I accepted my job, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. So yeah, definitely check it out. And then the final book that I read this month, I finally finished this. I started this back in June. Holy crap, did I really do that? I just don't want to be spreading lies. Okay, that's what I thought. Hold on. That's not what I meant to do. Am I still sharing my screen? I'm not still sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, now the slide is correct. Um, I don't know why I forgot to update the stars. So, I finished The Pride of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. Um, it just did not give me 5-star feels. Um, I think it was the pacing at the end. Like, there was stuff like in the middle. I was like, why are we spending so much time on this? And then like the big battle at the end, I was like, well, that went quick. Um, oh my gosh, can you just let me move this? Oh my gosh, please just no, please, no, crap. Okay. Now that I've stopped all my technical difficulties. Yeah. So this is such a complicated world. Like there's so many characters that we follow. Like things happen in like the north, the south, the east, the west. There's like different religions, and dragons obviously are a major part of this world. Um, there's a dragon on the cover. Um, and I'm still not sure what a priory is. I know what the orange tree is. I don't know why priories. I wanted to find that word. Merriam-Webster. Oh, a religious house under a prior or prioress. Okay, I get it now. Okay. Wow. Look who's just fully I know what the orange tree is, and like it's part of the one of the religions. Your girl over here just didn't understand what the word priory was, but um I knew what the orange tree was. But the word priory makes sense now because it's uh led by a prior or a prioress. In our case, it's a prioress. But yeah, it was really good. I do have the prequel to this book. Um, I haven't committed yet. Have not started it. I have a lot of books I'm reading for Magical Readathon right now. Go ahead and fit that one on the TBR. Because I didn't think I could finish it in the month of August for Magical Readathon. And I don't know why my body has chosen now to give me the hiccups. At least it's the end of the video, near the end. This is the last book I finished in July. But yeah, this was so good. But yeah, it just did not give me the 5-star feels. I think it was just the pacing at the end, and I wanted more of like the battle um at the end. Like I would have preferred we spent more time on the battle than some of like the stuff in the middle. Like, I don't know. Here's the same, like, just make it a little longer. It's not like it's already like a little over 800 pages or anything. Totally fine. Just make it longer. Just make it longer. Um, but yeah, I did really enjoy it. I honestly wasn't sure if one day I would ever read this book. And look, here we are. I did indeed finish it. Um, I saw everyone on TikTok like for a while, like reading this book. I was like, wow, those people are daring. I'm not one of those people. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Still really good rating, you know. Um, yeah, just wanted more battle scenes, like wanted the action. Yeah, that's the only reason I did not give it 5 stars because I wanted more of that. But yeah, those are the books that I read in the month of July. Um, so thanks so much for watching. Um, let me know what you read in the month of July. Did you read any of the things I read? Did any of these books sound interesting to you? Let me know down in the comments. Uh, if you hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you'd like to hear some more thoughts about books and other things for me, your friendly children's librarian over here. So yeah, I also want to say, remember who you are and where you live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.